so I finished out the setup for Seljuk. In addition to getting the vassals in place, I had to get the troops in place. Getting the troops in place was kind of complicated, and I look at something like this, and you know, we look at the colors of the different troops. We got these grays. Now I know that they're Norman, so I was like, yeah, that can't be. And I'm right. This looks kind of gray on there to me. I don't know, my eyes aren't good. But those are Turkic horse. They look the same here, you know, but it's just a little difficult there. Do we start? I don't know. Maybe. We're in the levy stage. Okay, so normally we would be shuffling Arts of War, drawing and implementing 2 cards. Most of these games don't allow you to do that on the first turn of the game, but they also often preset a couple. So I'm going to look and see how that is. By the way, I yanked my camera. I had it plugged in over there. So like, I've been having trouble with this one charging. I mean, look at this. And now I'm worried that I damaged the connection more because I just yanked it out of there. But look at the sky out there. It's just weird. So it's been dark since like 2 p.m. And rained for a while. It was a little bit of weird sunlight. There's something going on now. Might be seeing some weird color effects from the aurora. You know, it's been cloudy all the time. This is the first sky that looked a little weird, and of course it's daytime, so I shouldn't be able to see it at all, but it might have some effect on the cloud cover with the light and whatever. Or this could just be a gloomy day that had a little bit of weird sun. Anyway, let me look that up. You do shuffle and draw, actually you don't. If it is levy of the scenario's first seasonal turn, it is. Seljuk each draws 2 Arts of War from the player's own and deploys them as capabilities. And then second and later, you get the normal random events. So I'm going to get random capabilities. Normally, that's not the case. Normally, you muster capabilities, right? Levy capabilities, you can obtain capabilities. For 1 levy per card selected, you select from any of the cards within the deck, basically. As long as it matches the lords that you're allowed to use. Well, we'll see what we draw. Pick these 2. These are the capability side. Shock tactics. Half the Turkish horse, melee at half. Let's take a look at Turkish horse. How bad is it? It's got 2 stars, melee by capability. Okay, so yeah, these wouldn't be normally able to melee. These guys are way over here. I'm tempted to put it over here, even though I get an extra 1 over there. And then this other one, Turkmen skirmishers. During wastage, 1 enemy lord adjacent to this lord undergoes wastage twice, which means they would lose 2 pieces. Well, so a situation like this where I have 2 different things that I have more than 1 of, I would lose 2 pieces of. This feels pretty weak. I can play this on either of these 2. I'll put this here. Now I have room for a second one there, but given what given what had to happen, I'm supposed to put them underneath, but this table has certain bends to it that make life more difficult. Let's take a look at the 2 Byzantines. Card when calculating losses after battle. This lord's routed units recover per armor regardless of situation. That's useful. and pressed levy service. What's the difference between any and all? Romans may keep one unpaid themas levied themata with Lord at the end of each campaign. What's the difference between any and all? Not sure. These have specific lords. Any, I think, means any lord. I think this is a general capability for the side. I don't really want to keep it over there. This game has a huge footprint. These all do. The icon of the Virgin Mary. This lord's units. Yeah, let's keep it here so I can see it. Push a little bit more off. Kind of overhanging there. It's dangerous, but I think I will give that over here. Of course, things are right. Seljuks, then Roman shuffle, blah, blah, blah. On first levy, capabilities, thereafter events. It tells you what you need to know. It's just very shorthand, very useful, and somehow my brain doesn't help. Pay. You can pay lords to stay on the field. Nobody is leaving just yet. Nobody's got their little, levy markers or whatever coming up anytime soon. I don't want to spend money unless I'm at risk of losing it. Say it's getting towards winter or whatever. So we wouldn't want to do that. And we don't want to spend loot either, which we can do the same thing, shifting the service forward. We don't want to disband anything. So we're going to hit muster. And I don't feel quite ready to jump into the game to that extent because I have to start figuring out what I want to do. And I don't have a really good idea yet at this point what I want to do. Whatever I have an idea of will probably be wrong anyway, but I have to put some more thought and probably lay down and read some of the history before I do that. My toe in a little bit more, which I'll do. I'll do the levies, trying to get the energy up. Couple of notes that I should have given in the intro, really, but reading the historical brings these things back to mind that I didn't mention. First of all, this is the period ending in Manzikert, the battle that throws the Byzantines into requesting aid from the West and eventually into the Crusades. Okay, this is the one that loses them most of Asia Minor to the Seljuks. The actual historical stuff that I've gone through so far in reading is really interesting shit, but just to put a big context on the situation. The other thing that is interesting to me, although the Roman emperor, is interesting himself. It's his wife who's I think Constantine X's wife as well, who goes against his will and marries a soldier and whatever to try to save Constantinople. But the other big one is Alp Arslan as the Seljuk leader. And the first real memory I have of the name Alp Arslan comes from Prince Valiant, which is absolutely ridiculous because Prince Valiant starts out as in the Arthurian cycle, I think. and somehow ends up, some 500 years later. So I don't know what's up with that, but Alp Arslan was known as being kind of like Saladin, a very honorable person to the Western lords. Now, if you consider that Saladin probably murdered his predecessors and whatnot, yeah, I don't know how well he deserves that. Anyway, let's take a look where we are. We're on muster, where we get, let's see, I don't know. We do the Seljuks first, yeah. So they're going to trigger their lordship values here. So Arslan gets 4, Arasigi gets 3, Ibn Khan gets 2 chances to roll for stuff. And there's a bunch of different things that they can do. And it's all actually contained here, but I feel like it's necessary for me to deal more with the rules themselves here. So, what am I able to do in mustering? I'm able to muster actual lords. And I don't think I have to use lordship. You must have begun in an unbesieged friendly locale. Everybody's in such. I can levy other lords. I don't have to be where that lord is to do so. That's a good thing. But in order to do it, I have to make a fealty roll. And that lord will just show up with his sort of minimal capabilities. Now, right now, I have no lords available. They all become available later on. So that's not an option for me. I can levy vassals. This will allow me to levy a single vassal for each roll that I succeed in. And this brings more troops into play. Now remember, 8 troops is a safe amount. I don't think there's any real advantage to an all-cav force. There's an advantage to having an all-Turkic cav force, but I don't have that here. I have these, I don't know what the hell they are. These green guys that are Ghulam cavalry, which are about equivalent to the Tagmata, I guess. Tagmata have a star. Better melee by capability. Okay. Sure. So I have that as an option, is to bring those in. I can levy transports. I can't levy actual provender. I can levy capabilities. Now, these don't require a roll. So transports, I could just add transports. And for this, I kind of have to think about, what I'm fucking planning on doing and everything. This is where it gets so hard to reestablish into these games, especially since things change with each one, it's scary to me. So one of the biggest things I want to do is probably look over my capabilities and see if there's anything I absolutely want to grab with any of these leaders. This is the command rating. Lordship is there. I don't remember. How do I differentiate between the two? Let's put this in here to remind me. What do the two do? Not really remembering a lord's ratings. 1.5.3. Well, that's real soon. Fealty, we know what that is. That's the muster, and I think how long they're out, and No, service is how long they're out. Lordship is how many levy actions. Command is the number of actions they can take from the cards. Yeah. Okay. So that's how lively they are. So actually we're looking at Lordship, which is 3, 1, and 2. And I'm working my way through these. I mean, so far I'm looking at, oh look, I don't have to return to my seat as a capability. This one only goes to one person, and I don't have him on the board until next turn, so I can ignore that. This has a couple of people I can't give it to, and otherwise I could give the Gulan special vassal. Is that this one? Yeah, this is the Elite Gulan Cav. It just gives me one more Cav for that vassal, but it's kind of cheaper in a way. I don't have to roll dice. Well, I don't have to roll dice to levy vassals anyway. Gosh, just, and I don't have a real view of what I'm trying to do. My big force is up here. It's got a long walk to make it, well, not all that long. There's Manzikert. I guess the Romans are trying to establish a power around the lake. Is historically one of the things they tried to do. I got to think about where I get my points. I get points by looting, by capturing loot, and by ravaging. And I think you get loot when you ravage, so that's pretty cool. So that's probably what I'd want to do, is just bust my way in with that. Over here, be nice if I could take Antioch, but Antioch is a relatively big town. It's a city. Yeah, it should be. Edessa, though, only counts as a town, I guess. Jeez. And then there's the idea that, hey, I may want to try to stop that from being able to grow. Well, where could he grow? I think he only forms in Constantinople. That's not a problem. This guy can show up here, and he probably will. I don't know. I have more forces than this guy, but yeah, does that really mean much? It's so hard. Anyway, I'll keep looking through my capabilities and try to come up with ones. And here's the thing. Once you first kind of make that assessment, you start getting used to them, and you start pulling the same ones. That ends up being kind of a, oh, gee, I really could have used mules. I had to travel a long way with this guy. I don't know. So I've got a few that are of interest that I wanted to look at. Support from Aleppo. This lord's command is +1 on a die roll of 1 to 3 on each of his command cards. That's appealing. That gives him extra actions. That can be very helpful. I don't know how vital a combat capability is. And again, we're looking at that. Crepian is dangerous if he comes into play at Edessa. I don't know. Similarly, another one that can only be played on a couple of people. Steppe Raiders. This lord may ravage adjacent locales where no enemy lord, if he has Turkic horse. This is very useful because I can position myself in a place and push in deeper. I don't want to grab it yet, so I'm going to put that off, but that might be something of value to him. If he can get his, if he can get into raiding position. Merowind Alliance, I can spend points to create Seljuk seats during call to arms. This is really helpful for supply purposes and other purposes. I may want to grab this. Again, I don't know who'd pay for it. Deep Raids. This I could give to anyone. In a call to arms, disband this lord in Iconium for 2 victory points, or Western Anatolia for 3. If I could get in that deep, I could get a lot of victory points, but I don't feel like I'm ready until Antioch falls to make that kind of push. So I'm going to hold off on that for now. Unstoppable Turkoman. You can bypass without stopping. This would work well in conjunction with that. Again, I'm going to hold off on playing that. Baghdad Reinforcements. This leader in an unbesieged friendly locale can restore one of his lost units. If I was fighting a defensive war, that would make sense. There was another one that was similar, but maybe... that gave additional troops too. Let's take a look at that call to arms for the Merwind Alliance. You can transfer a coin from Alp-Arslan, or spend any number of coin. Each coin make either Ahmed or Meafarquin, marked with Kurdish stars. There's Meafarquin, there's Ahmed. It would be useful to have those extra seats. There's no question about that. I think I want this one. I don't know where this other one is. There was something which gave me... this Lord can return 1 loot. Yeah, so this I could get further... Uh-oh, battery's dead. I could get further out when the winter comes, like further into enemy territory. I wouldn't have to use a cart to return one of my loots. I mean, it's a victory point. If I was doing something like that deep probe, it might make sense, but I don't know. And also, if I'm getting this, it kind of doesn't, because I'm kind of focusing the Kurds up there. Some of these don't work for me. This gift exchange is weird. You have to be adjacent to a friendly, to an enemy lord to do this. And then you get a bunch of coins on it, and the Seljuks and the Romans get to steal the money off the card. And that seems like an expensive thing to, to waste something on. But maybe they'll have more coins than I want to. That's useful if I'm sieging, but I don't feel... This is intriguing, but again, I haven't mustered my troops yet. Thought there was one that allowed me to add troops if I wasn't in a local area, to restore troops, and I didn't see it. But I didn't pull it out, which may mean it's from the wrong, a commander I don't have able to grab those additional troops. So the Merwind Alliance, during a call to arms, I think I'm going to grab this, and I think I'm going to grab this for the additional movement. I think he has to pay for his own thing. And this is someplace you could use those number counters or whatever, dice, anything you like, to keep track of, because you're spending off your lordship, right? To see what you get. So this guy, let's look at him, because he only has one. He's my first. With only one, he's running back to here. I feel like I want... I mean, so nice to have additional troops. But he would be going 5, 6, 7. He'd still be under that 8. I think I'm going to take a cart. I can restore troops later. I think I'm going to... And that's him. He's done. This guy is going to take the support from Aleppo card. And he has the skirmishers. He has one more action. For me to operate any deeper than this, I'm going to really need another cart. And I don't have anything else I can take. I'll take a cart with him. That means I use one of my 3 here. Again, I don't have any lords to muster. I'm at 6 units. I could muster this. This is my main force here. Might want to take this or ruin it or something. The Byzantines are quite far away. These are regular infantry, right? Regular infantry seem valuable in a siege, so I'm going to put them over here. And that gets me 2 regulars. Not the brown stuff, that's crap. Okay, that's my second. For a third, I mean, I'm already running 1, 2 back to here. Where am I allowed to muster? This is the issue. To use lordship, you must have begun in an unbesieged friendly locale. 1.3.1. I'm not sure what that means. I think it means I can capture places and take them. Legion's locale is there. Muster pay with require friendly. No, the original allegiance is what it's friendly to. Ugh. Which means I can't push forward, take this, and then muster in there. For what that's worth. I don't want more troops. I have 2, 4, 6, 8. That's my payoff. I may need more troops. I guess I'll take another fucking card. Because it might be useful once I'm deeper in. And that'll be the Seljuk muster. And you can see, this is an expensive process. So I'm gonna stay on muster, but I'm gonna go and I'll do the Byzantine muster next. It takes a lot of effort, especially the first time that you're looking at this at any particular game in the series. It takes a lot of effort to kind of figure out, hey, what do I want to do? You know, parsing through the cards and everything. And again, I probably made big mistakes. People will, you know, at least the game's brand new and everybody's going through this problem now. Process for the Byzantines. The first card I looked at is the Nomisma Debase. That's the money. Discard during pay step of levy to shift to all Roman service. -1 calendar box. Or shift 1 calendar box. Sorry, not -1. And non-commander Roman lords may not tax for the rest of the game. Mark. And I believe there's an event counter to mark that. There it is. So, I mean, there's that. That's what the little counters come in for, is that kind of stuff. What's nice is that it tells me to mark, right? You know, it informs me that there is such a counter or whatever to put into play. That's kind of weird. This Lord's Tagmata inflict -1 to target armor during each melee strike step of battle. It feels like it's going to be like they don't target individual units, right? So feels like it affects everything, which seems a little severe. That's an interesting card if that's the case. The Skull Eye over here also show up on this commander chart. Where was it? And that's the other flag that can have it. So it adds the Skull Eye service marker to the Lord's map. And then you'd still have to, I guess, actually call them into service. So they're not available to begin with, even though they're printed on there. See, understand what this is saying. I think the garrison is just these units, and then you can bring that many of the thematic units into play. Here we have another one that's similar to this Barduka. This Lord, with 2 infantry in battle, adds 1 extra missile hit with -1 to target armor. I get the feeling that this is meant to work that way. Whatever hits the Tagmata cause are going to have that -1 to target armor on them. You don't, because this is like very specific. I'm beginning to feel that that's how you use this. So if I have a couple of Tagmata attacking, they're going to generate, I think, 2 hits, generally. Although that can be increased. Yep, that's what it is. And then those hits can be assigned generally by the defender to their units, almost assuredly by the defender, as having that armor penalty on them. That makes this a little less interesting, maybe. Another one, add the Emperor's Retinue special vassal to this Lord's mat. I bet you that's this. Emperor's Retinue. Does this one say anything special on it? This one does not. So I think these other 2 are not actually his units. They can only be gotten with capabilities. This is not well described. It may be included in some little place. I'm going to look to see about that, but I'm very disturbed by this. Like, it feels like it should be, it feels like they shouldn't actually be on there. Still, that's interesting too. Have the Skull Eye, the Emperor's Retinue, and the Gulam Cav, and the Ogu's Mercenaries. The Gulam Cav is this one. The other 3 are the Roman ones there. These special vassals are set aside. It's in the rules. There's just nothing to really mark it there. And again, they're only allowed on certain commanders. That's expressed on the card. I don't think they should be in his box. I just feel like that's disturbing, especially when he's in both of these. The Ogum is not on anyone's box, but I think he could be put anywhere or on many of the lords. I'm not finding a lot I want to do. I gotta look up the Empress, see what's up with her. During Call to Arms, I can either play a token, the Empress token on this card, or move it to Constantinople that might be a useful card. This one I'm looking at as very useful for the Emperor to be able to move more quickly. This gives him an extra command as long as he's got a supply route. Now, he has a couple of carts to begin with. I might want more. This one, his first tax command outside Constantinople doesn't place a ravaged. If I did want to tax, I'm going to ditch that. I think these two are the two that I want to grab here, which is give the Emperor a little bit faster movement capabilities, and let's put the Empress token available. Now, I can either place it on this card or move her from the card to Constantinople to get some advantages. So it's going to be a back and forth thing to increase how long. Now here it says shift a Roman Lord cylinder. Oh, that'll bring lords closer. So that I can muster. And that's important because I can muster this guy as well, which is interesting. Maybe I want to roll for that first. That's Crepin, I think. He has a reasonable fealty. Not really feeling much in terms of these guys. I don't know that he's going to be going too far from where he is. He's facing a bunch of Turkics. It's just such a pain to figure out what you want to do. He doesn't have a lot of troops. These things each add 1, which isn't a very long amount of time. What if I trigger these 2 for him and get him 1 of these and 1 regular infantry? Give him a little bit more force. Let's see if he becomes a decent fighting force. That'll be his action. This guy, he'll be able to travel with my commander, so that's an interesting facet. Give the Lord 1 of these. Get his activation with a supply route to get more commands. That will do what? And these command cards have the number on them as to how many commands they get for each card that they put in play. And what have I done? See, here I'm at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not optimal. And I can't combine. Let's roll for Crepin. We need a 1 through 4. Who's going to pay? He has a relatively small force, 2, 4, 6. I can add his force. So I've spent 1 off him. I'm going to spend a second 1 off him for Crepin. I get Crepin. And then my third one, I'll put the Empress into play. That uses up all my lordship. Crepin's got to be deployed on the board. He has no true. Oh no, he has no vassals. And this guy, and he doesn't get a muster. This guy, I have a fair amount of carts between me with 4 carts. That's going to give me quite a supply range. I'm going to deploy both of these troops, I think. So that's 2 soldiers and 2 horses. These are horses, aren't they? And that'll give me, yeah, 2 regular infantry. That'll give me that. And I think I'm set up except for I have to deploy him. Down to the call to arms. I need to pee, so I'm gonna break for a bit. I hope to make it through the levy tonight. You know, I know I'm going at an incredibly slow rate, but it's the only way to familiarize yourself enough with these the levying campaign stuff to get yourself used to. And I still don't know, because I don't know how I'm going to utilize these and whatnot. I can pick them up along the way. So once again, the Seljuks go first with their call to arms. They have the Marwind Alliance. They can either transfer a coin from Alp Arslan to the card or spend a coin. For each coin spent, I can make those locations be better. I'm going to drop a coin. Over on there. In my next call to arms, I'll be able to create a new base, which is very helpful, actually. Now I go to the Empress Eudokia, and I have to find her. Let me dig her up. My call to arms, I put her here. That takes care of that, and that means we go to the campaign card. Flip this over. And we discard capabilities in excess of lords. Oh shit. Oh, I fucked up. I have 4 lords over here. Oh, shit. I screwed up. I don't want to screw up, right? Does this guy want this capability? I forgot about this factor. And what did I take? I think I do want this, which to me means I won't take this, so I have an extra point with him. I kind of need this, don't I? Oh, I didn't want this anyway. This was not one. This was not one that I picked. I don't think I paid for this. If I did, I screwed up. I wanted the one that allowed me more. I'll just throw that away. I think that was one of my initial ones. It's not that valuable. Okay. Now I get to plan. And there are 7 cards for this turn. Both sides, and this is standard levying campaign stuff, but I just want to, whoa. I'm going to have, let me parse these out, but I'm going to have, obviously, as many no commands as I want available, but also the cards from each of these players. But then I pick 7 of them, and I stack them in order that I want them to occur. I'm eligible to play with right now. Now, there's no reason for me to use no commands, I think. Bonus, he's got a bonus. I've got 4, each set I have 4 cards for. And by the way, if I run out of these, it's okay. I can use other commanders in there instead. But, like, there's no real reason for that. I feel like Alp is probably my most important guy. So I'm going to give him a couple of commands. That's 4, 5, 6, Do I want to command for Ibn Khan? He doesn't have a really big force. I'm going to go like this and stack these. Is this wise? I don't know. I'm never sure. I like to alternate commanders the way I did, but that's also not necessary. But what it allows me to do is to make later adjustments on either front. Now I do the same thing here, but I've got 4 commanders. This extra commander may not be all that valuable to me, because in this game and in this system, you just have, X number of cards that you can play, each turn, and it's never more than 8. That's like 2 commanders that you can functionally operate with. Now I have the advantage of having somebody with me, which makes it a little less painful. Part, there's no reason to use him unless I wanted to do taxation. I could do taxation and raise some money with either of these. That's kind of useful to gather money. I don't have a real feel for it anymore, like how much I need to grab money at the beginning of a campaign. This is what I have available to me. Again, I'm probably not going to use these. I'm probably going to use Romanos 4 times, because he gets so many commands per. This guy's not bad either, but he can't command Romanos. So what he could do, though, is launch an attack or something. So if I wanted to really focus on these 2, I have a powerful capability there. And I'm not really sure what I want to do with these guys, right? Neither one is all that strong, although I have strengthened him. That really just defends Antioch, as it were. So I think what I'm going to do is this. Do I have a use for Nikephoros? So this is the question. Nikephoros taxes. Romanos can move like 12 spaces. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can gain a lot of ground and get me to anywhere. Do I want to siege anything is the question. I'll put another one of him in. So now I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have one more. Who's the bigger hammer? I'll put this in towards the end as a hammer to react. And that'll be the set that I set up there. Is this wise? I don't know. I really don't know, right? And now our first command, I'm going to have to feed my armies. That's one of the problems. So I'm going to have to do supply actions and all this, that, and the other mixed in there. This feels like what I kind of remember trying to do, but I'm probably going to screw these up, and these guys are not going to move as fast or as far as I expected them to. So the Seljuk go first and flip one over, and it's Alp Arslan. He has 4 actions that he can take. We have the actions listed here. So I could open up with attacks. Let's do that. 1. Supply is only going to get me 1 provender, which isn't bad. Maybe I want to do it. But instead, I'm going to spend 2 more to move to there. That gets me, I've gained a moved thought. They're all blue. So I've spent 3. If I don't siege right away, I'm not going to get a siege this turn. Siege takes an entire card. Right? But if I stop, I think I get a siege marker. Oh, that's what I seem to remember. I gotta hunt through the rules for this. When any lord is in a locale outside an enemy stronghold that isn't bypassed or besieged, they must immediately besiege or bypass. If I besiege, that ends my turn at that point. And I go to feed, pay, disband. Okay. So I don't want to do what I did. I did attacks. I do 1 move. I do a provender. I can only go back to here, so I get 1 supply off that. It goes on him because it's his turn. I have enough carts to gather it all together. I hit here for the 4th. I get a siege marker. Look for one. Get a siege marker there, and now I have to deal with this, the moved. I've got 1 lord with me. I eat my provender. I'm not going to be able to advance the siege most of the time, but that's okay, I think. I think I'm allowed to do stuff while I'm in siege other than advance the siege. It's just if I want to advance the siege, it has to be using a full card. Which takes all. Let me see how that's worded. Entire command card, yeah, to advance the siege. But I can do other things as a besieging lord. Okay, so that is the first Seljuk action. Let's take a look at the first one of these. Nicephorus gets 3 commands. Now, I can't move anything. This is important. That's my base, so I'm going to grab a coin by taxing. Then I'm going to supply twice. I don't actually need the carts for this, but we're going to grab additional food for later actions. I'm going to stop there. Again, taking it real slow. I didn't move, so I don't have to pay anything. And we're going to be here on the next one. I'm really trying to take this slowly because I'm not in the swing of things yet. Plus, I get the wrong pipe and everything for this. I have to paw through my command deck to see, hey, what do I have planned? Okay. Now, I could launch a siege here. I'd roll 2 dice. I would have to get a pair of 1s for that to succeed. There's no good reason for me to do that quite yet. Oh, sorry, I have another Barslan here. So another 4 to do. What I'm going to do is I have 3 cards, so I can trace back. I'm going to play a supply, get myself another provender, build it up a little bit. That's 1. I can ravage it. There's no reason for me not to. Let's see how that works. You can look over here. Ravage. Uh, if I do 2, I guarantee the Ravage. I'm going to do that. That puts me to 3 of these. I put a half victory point. That gets me up to a full victory point. I'm going to use the 4th one to draw supply again. I can only transport to one to seats, and I only have 1 seat for this guy. So I get another provender. That gets me up to 3. And that fills me up for this turn. Brings me over to the Byzantines. We get Romanos. I think I'm going to tax because I like taxing. I don't really need the money terribly much. So that's 1. I gather my force and I set out. Do I want to grab more provender too? Let's grab a provender as well while I'm there. Because I've got plenty of carts. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got not enough carts. Fuck. Why did I provender him? Oh, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to fuck things up. Okay. 1. We're going to head out to fight Arslan. 2, 3, 4. Do I have a cart problem here? 1, 2, 3, 4. That puts me in place that I can grab supplies later. Now I could not carry all of this. Probably should have taxed again or something. We fought. So each of these armies has to drop a provender. I did some kind of fuck up. I don't care. It's just going to happen in the game. We come back over here. We draw Arasigi. Let's take a look. I've got 2 more cards for him coming. He is my bowman. What do I want him to do? I want to grab a provender. I'm going to grab a tax. Why? Because I like having a coin on people. And I'm going to... It's stupid for me to move. Oh, tax takes all. Fuck. I cheated. Well, he would have taxed and provendered, I think. So I think I'm okay there. He could not have taxed here. So we go down to 2. That means that I would have another action. I could grab another provender with him. So I'll do that. Whatever. Okay. So I can grab a provender with this guy. I can't tax with him. It would take all my chits to tax. I have 2 carts. Fuck it. I am just going to tax. Yeah, I thought taxation was more painful than it looks. Okay, we go over here. We get another Romanos. Supply does not, it only does take 1. I'm going to supply again to fill my carts up. So that gets me to 3 provender. That's 1. 2. One, hold on. I can recruit. For each command, add a theme of service marker to the Lord. I've got 2, 4, 5. Let's add 2 more soldiers to this. And they'll show up like that. Stacked. So that's 2, 3, 4. Now, we're in battle. The first question is, does Arslan want to fall back? No, he wants to try to fight, I guess. Otherwise, we got a problem. We've got to move fight on these counters, or whatever. I don't know quite where to put them right now. So we set up our forces. We get a battle marker. This one. Alp Arslan will go here. We'll take another side there. Forces are arrayed. They're on there. We could concede the field with either force. We don't wish to do that. So now it's time to strike. And first we do missiles with the defender going first. Let's take a look at what he's got. He's got no capabilities there. He's all alone. The Turkic horse has missile times 1. That means I'm going to generate 4 hits. And the Byzantines get to choose which force to take it on. Let's take a look at the infantry. The infantry does not have any missiles. What about these Ghulams? They add another one. There's no star, so that's fine. So I've got 5 hits coming in. Now, infantry has armor. We don't have the steeled resolve, do we? Okay, this improves routed units. Let me think. Centralized admin. Shit. I've had an extra command each time. It's so hard for me to pay attention to these things. I don't know what I would have done with it. I took the capability and then I forget about it. Okay. I've got 3 infantry on both sides. I think I'm going to take the hits over here on him. So, what did we say we had? We had 5 hits. So we grab these, and the first 3 are going to be against the infantry. 1 to 3s eat the hits. Okay, so 2 of these have been routed. 1 of them survived. I get to keep rolling for the survived guy. That's the 4th hit. And here's the 5th. Okay. So 3 of my infantry have routed. Now I get to fire back with my missiles. Now, I have a half point per tagmata. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then I can throw the flanking force in as well. That's 3 hits against Alp Arslan. He has better armor on these Gulam than he does on the infantry. So, what did we say? 3 hits? Yeah. So let us try to protect against 2 of those on 1 through 4s. Those both protect, so I can take the 3rd hit on them as well. And we just survive without a problem on the missile phase. Now we go to the next. It's defending horse next. Okay. The Turkic horse does not get to attack except with a capability. So I have 2 from the Gulam horsemen. Forgot to launch that. Hold on. We got that first. We have a point of those, and our militia only has missile by capability. So I got 1 more point to take. I roll. And I succeed in eating that, deflecting that as well. So now I get to swing back with my horses. I think these hits have to go against him. Let me check how the ordering goes, because I may not have gotten all these shots in with him. I'll leave them as they are because they all got deflected. So far, I think I can step in with these at will, which means that I can take these hits on the infantry over there. What that means is, and I might be losing a thematic unit because of this, but remember that unit that's destroyed, as well as this ruins here? Apparently there are cards which can rebuild those. Both things. Somebody tells me that. So, defending horse. We have the 2 Gulam horses. Like I said, that's 2 hits. We're going to take that on infantry. Infantry takes hits on, eats hits on only 1 to 3. But I don't have anything better. One of my infantry gets routed. I'm going to take it on this. So I'm afraid that the thematics fall apart more easily. Now I get to swing back with my cav, and I have 4 of these Tagmata. That's 4 hits on him. I was going to take the Gulam cav to begin with, because it's heavier. One of them gets routed. I keep rolling. The rest survive. Next round is going to be defending foot. I have a grand total of 2 defending foot, which add up to 2 hits. I don't know. I think I will take those on the infantry. Oh, that's not good. So this whole force is routed. We'll see what happens. Attacking infantry now. All we have is a fucking militia, which generates only a half point. I don't remember if these are rounded up. This is siege stuff, isn't it? Total all hits, including flanking, plus directly opposing. Rounding up, yeah. Okay. So I actually total beforehand. So that's a hit. We'll take that on that green cav again. And it doesn't go well for him. He's back. Did the protection rolls. Neither side is routed as a side. Neither side withdrew. Now I look at the forces and I consider pretty much whether or not Alp Arslan wants to leave. He will do less damage if he tries to leave. He has, but really bad stuff happens if you get completely routed from the field. Like, I can't afford to lose Alp Arslan, and that's the problem here. I'm facing two of these Tagmata. Jeez. Like, this is really risky. I think I lose the game if I lose Alp Arslan, by the way. Let's see where victory conditions are. Not listed. Fuck. Go look at the scenario. This is the full campaign. If Alp Arslan is permanently disbanded, the game just fucking ends. Whew. And I believe he's permanently disbanded if he... Lords must either... The owning player chooses 4.85. Lords removed in battle, 4.83 and 4. This is safe. Okay, it's if you lose all your units, I'm probably not going to lose all my units. I'm going to stick around for another round of battle. This may be dumb, but that means we go to the missiles again. The defender has the edge. They have... I don't have these. Oh, well. They have 4 shots. We'll start over here. I think I'm going to take it on a militia first. Just because militia's shit. That's 1. I got 3 more. I'll take it on the 2 Tagmata. That's 3. And then over on the Emperor's Tagmata. That survives. So I did 4 swings at him. And his force has routed. We get to shoot back. Tagmata have 1, 2, 3 for the Turkic. We're going to take those on the infantry. they survive. It's looking bad for the Imperials. I've got to switch batteries, and we are at the horsies. Right. Defending horse. The Turkic horse don't do a damn thing. The Tagmata do. They're at 1 each. That's 2 hits. We'll take them on infantry. 1 infantry routes. That puts me on the infantry attack. The defenders have 1 infantry, which does a hit. We don't have much choice. It's on the Tagmata. I mean, the Turkic horse could take hits too. It has an evade capability. Might want to do that. You can't evade missiles. I'm going to take evade instead. So there goes 1 of them. And now we're at the end of the line again. How do we feel? Wowzer. I mean, I can't really afford to lose the Emperor either. I don't think he's an automatic loss to the game. But, oh, this is a close run thing. Who gets first choice to concede the field? At the start of each battle, the attacker, then the defender declare whether they want to leave. So do I want to leave the field? I'm outnumbered. He's got that infantry there. I think I'm going to leave the field with him. I'm not thrilled with this. And what that means, let's find this. At the start of each battle round, the attacker, then the defender, place the pursuit marker between the two, pointing towards the conceding side. Okay. Do it that way. Shows that the conceding side will have its hits against the enemy. The defender, I mean, I don't know, because there's a good chance I just die here. So maybe I should stick it out, because it's a close fucking fight. And I could win the war this way. I'm doing it wrong here, man, I can tell you. Do I want to run? If I run, I have basically no... I don't think I can kill him. I'm running. Okay. I mean, I'm probably not destroyed, but conceding the field allows me to recover my troops at a better rate. Otherwise, my troops get wiped out if I lose. So it's not a good idea, but I can't rout. That's the whole problem. Anyway, 2 hits. We're going to take them on the Tagmata because the Turkic Cav can't evade missiles. Ninja schminja. Okay. Well, that's not good. Alrighty. That's really not good. I get a missile back, which he's going to take on his infantry. Okay. We could wipe each other out, couldn't we? Wasn't there something that said you can't do it? Or is that a different game? I don't think it can happen because it's not simultaneous. So, now it's horse melee. Neither side has any. Infantry melee. Neither side has any. We got halved and halved again on this, but that was okay. Actually, I don't know. I think I cheated. I think I caused one too many damage. So now we have withdrawn. Losers retreat adjacent. The attacker has to retreat back to where he came from, which was to here. He gets the moved thought. Alp Arslan stays here. He also gets a moved thought. These, are not necessary in a simple case like this. And then we have to check to see what actually was lost. Now, both sides determine the fate of their routed units. If they retreated without having conceded the field or were attacking in a storm, they fail on anything but a 1. But these other units, like conceding the field, compare the unit's roll against its inherent protection, as shown on the forces for that type. Now, for Turkic Cav, that's not particularly good. That's their 1, is their inherent defense. So, let's take a look at the Romans here to begin with. 1 through 3 on his Tagmata. One of them survives, one of them dies. The infantry is also 1 through 3. This is only because we conceded the field. All his infantry dies. We have another thing, which is spoils. We may have left some spoils behind. We did not, because we have enough carrying capacity. I grabbed the wrong fucking guy. Son of a bitch. This is the guy who's with me. Don't know why I would do that. He had an extra infantry and an extra cav. Here's what we're going to do. He had 3 Tagmata. He's a more powerful force. I don't know what the fuck to do. He should have 1, 2 more infantry here. I'm thinking I should refight the battle. I'm not thrilled about this, though. All right, we refight the whole battle. That was here, that was here, that was here, these were here. Those are there. We fucked up entirely. Let's get these off there. I knew I would fuck shit up. Let me go back to this. Okay. We start all over again. I have the missiles to begin with. I had 4 points of missile. It's not this fucker, it's this guy. And he will take 2 on infantry. His infantry are knocked out. We'll take 2 infantry over there. This could be much worse. One of his infantry is knocked out. I get to shoot back with my missiles. I have 5 Tagmata, just 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. I do 5 hits to Alp Arslan. He'll take it on the... I had more shots. I had another shot for there. I had 5 hits, not 4. Last shot will be on an infantry again. Okay. This I'm going to put like that to indicate that it's part of that, part of the thematic. I've got to swap batteries again. We're going to the horsey. No, we're going to his shop back. So 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. That's going to be 6 hits against Alp Arslan. I have to figure out how I'm going to eat that. This is a significantly tougher Imperial force, but anyway. I think I need to take this on my cav, I guess, with the 1 through 4s. I hate doing this. I'll take it on infantry next. Another infantry. Ugh. One of those heavy cav. This is not going well. Okay, Arslan. This may just be over if this is the case. Okay, now it's defending cav. These guys don't have any combat capability. So we go over and we've got 5 of these. That's 5 hits, but we do get the evade roll. Which means he takes only 1 hit out of those. That's a little helpful. But things look really, really bad now. And there's still an infantry to swing. That's 1 more point. We get to evade. Okay, we succeed in evading. So now the retreat is going the other way. The defending archers get to fire. They get 3 shots. What are we going to take? Well, we're going to take it on... See, for the short term, taking it on infantry makes sense. And I've got Arslan on the run now. So, yeah, let's take it on infantry. 1, 2. That's both of these. This is now routed. And now I've got to take it on one of these kind of things. I'll take it on his unit. That's 3 hits. I get to shoot back. I have 3, 4, 5 hits on archery on him. That's not going to work well. This can't be right. Can it? Oh, and I was halved. I didn't get as many hits. This would be recovered. Instead of 3 hits, I only got 2 because I've got this in play. So yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 hits on him actually. And he can't evade, which means he's just unarmored shit. So he's fucked. He needs to get 1s. All right, so we were broken and routed without being evading, without successfully leaving the battle in time. We were not able to withdraw successfully. That's problematic. First of all, Alp Arslan will be retreating to somewhere. We'll throw him back to here. But let's go to these guys. I've got 3 infantry to check. I think it's important where they come from. So the themata, one of them survives. And the other unit also survives. And his 2 infantry, one of them survives. Chances are Alp Arslan keeps something. Let's roll for his infantry. These are all at ones. Okay. So I'm not completely destroyed. At least there's that. I was able to carry all my goodies. I've got the 2 gulags or whatever they are. Yeah, they're dead. And 4 of the Turkic cav. And they're all dead. So I survived with 1 piece. We get the moved thoughts. Okay, Arslan has to eat. He has enough cart to carry everything, so he's okay. Actually, I'm not sure that's the case. He might be in trouble. But these guys also have to eat. That's a provender there and a provender there. Let me make sure about Arslan. Losing lords who were removed for being able to, or who retreated without having conceded the field. I believe I retreated without having to concede the field. Or without having conceded the field. I conceded the field over here, but I was routed. I lost the battle, that's for sure. I retreat, I withdraw into a friendly stronghold or battle locale, or be removed. The owning player chooses. Yeah, if neither side conceded an... Oh, wait. A side that conceded at the start of the round or that has no unrouted lords. I actually think I conceded the field, which means all my losses I misrolled. Let's look. 4.84. 4.82. I think I succeeded in conceding the field even though I routed. That's not how I thought this worked, but... All routed units of lords who retreated without having conceded the field or who were attacked in a storm, or attacking in a storm. Yeah, I think I re-roll. Let me just see. Fuck, I don't remember. Yeah, I think I conceded the field. So, actually, let me get all my pieces back and re-roll them. This is... Why did I have 2 of these? It's for this. Oh. Well, the Turkics were 1s anyway. All right, let's re-roll this 1 infantry here, because I don't remember, and the 2 cap. But the Turkics would have all died, and one of these others died. Okay. So this is what we got because we conceded the field. Now we look at the retreat when conceding the field. Lords who withdraw keep all their assets. I didn't. I conceded and retreated. I transfer any loot and provender which I couldn't move without being laden. I wasn't laden, so I was able to get away. Okay. So that's where we are. We are on another turn for the Seljuks. And sorry for how confusing that is. I thought if everybody routed, the conceding the field didn't work. Let's see if I've got that wrong, but I don't see any indication of that in here. And that may be something that's in one of the other games, that I'm misremembering, or I may have misplayed. It's possible. Do I lose anything else, though? I think I do. I think I do. The losing side rolls 1 die for each of its retreating lords and shifts the lord's service marker left 1 box on a 1, 2, or 3, 2 boxes on a 4, 5, or 6. So Alp Arslan goes to here. He did not like what just happened. And I think I've done everything. Service, aftermath, we feed. We got rid of the siege. The ravage stays though, but those can recover in the winter. All right, that's it for now. I got to fix that battery, and I'll be back for the next round. But Alp Arslan's force is so badly mauled now that he really kind of has to fall back with whatever other movements he has. And he's in danger of being, he can keep withdrawing. At least there's that. Okay, it's about, I don't know, I think it's getting on 5 a.m. It's hard to tell because my clocks, I don't change them, but my computer tells me a different thing, right? Because it changes itself. And we're going to try to push our way through some more. Alp Arslan has been pushed back and badly whacked, back and whack, by the Emperor. What do we get? Well, we get another Arsigi, which means Arplin could be pushed further. This is the first shot with Arsigi. Now, what have I done with him? I think I just taxed. Okay. I will take a Provender. His command rating is 3, so he'll take a Provender, and he'll move forward 2 more. We'll call it that. Oh, my first one doesn't count. I'll take another Provender, but I'll eat that. So that'll keep me loaded up. Come here. And we get Birnos. Birnos is interesting. He's my supply chief. Right now, I can take 2 Provender. I have 1 more action that I can do. And I don't know what that would be. I don't get much other than a pass out of this that I can think of. I mean, I'll take 3 Provender, but I don't have room for 3. But if I'm attacked or something, I have the extra food. Fair enough. What is Alp up to? I should have fallen back to Manzikert, because that would allow me to get back here more easily. I have 4. 1, 2, I grab a Provender. I'm going to end up falling back to there anyway. I could, drop down to here, but I've only got one more action. I guess I'll take 2 more provender. It's not particularly useful again, but sometimes your plans don't work. All right, the Emperor. What is this? Doesn't tell me what it is on the other side. Yeah, I don't know what that symbol means because I have trouble distinguishing between the whites and blues and whatnot. It looks like it's probably Turkish horse. If we look for, yeah, it's not the Norman Knights. Trying to decide what I want to do. I have too much provender already. What's up with, how do I put those things down? Those objectives. I don't remember. I gotta go find that. Come via strategic objective. Now, here's my trouble. I have a reasonable force. Ani here is incredibly well supplied. I am not going to be able to siege that. Taking this cuts into him, but I think I'm better off pushing in a different direction into here and sieging this. So what if we do this? I move 1. Second one, I ravage. Oh, what? I get more from ravage than I just did. I gotta keep track of things. This game is so hard. I had more there. When I ravage, I get stuff, right? Add 1 provender and 1 loot to the ravaging lord. The provender I'm not going to be able to keep. What about the loot? I don't believe I think loot may make me weighted down though. It's going to make me weighted down, so I might as well grab that provender because remember I can travel laden with double my provender. So that was 1, 2. Now it's 3, 4 to here, and I drop a siege into play. There. And again, I may be fucking some little things up. Now I have to eat. And these both drop down to deuces. This one actually, I would have had to have been laden on the first move. So I'm actually down to 1 there. I screwed up. When I moved here, I had to fall back. Okay. And I know this is not easy to follow. It's because I'm blundering around in the system again. Arasigi. He has 3 actions. What do I fucking want to do? Arasigi gets to move for free with his first move, even if it's over, if I recall correctly. No, it's -1 command action. Okay. I have provender. I can move here for 1 because it's my first one. I can ravage. Whoops this over. That's my second and third, if I do it for free. So I get a provender and a loot. I eat the provender, I have a loot, but that's at least some victory points I'm getting. Now I have to worry, I have to get to like 10 points, and I don't remember what those are. They involve ravages and stuff. I've got to keep an eye on that. There's just so much in this system that you've got to keep track of. Get back here, it's these guys. This is a 1-point city. I am going to siege it, which I don't think requires provender. Yeah. But we do get the moved fought for that, which sucks. Okay. So we roll a single die, because this is a weak place, under a 1 or a 1 or less. Okay, we don't succeed. Are we allowed to have more than one siege marker here? Fuck, I don't remember. God damn it. Yeah, I think so. We moved fought, so we eat. It's a provender here, a provender here. I've got a food issue. My 4 carts aren't gonna 1, 2, 3, 4 take me back home. But what are my capabilities? We forgot about these. We've forgotten about this every fucking time because it modifies command rating, and it's like just not remembering to do stuff. But anyway, that's what we did. Now, one reason we don't want to ravage this is because a ravaged place we can't forage. So foraging is a way for us to get the food that we need for the siege. And I'm almost out of battery, so before I finish this, I swap. This is what I was alluding to. The one big problem I have with this system is it's so clunky to get used to, because it's so different. The way supply is handled and everything, it's all this pre-programming. I've said this before, I think it reminds me of what I thought Robo Rally would be like, right? Where I have to figure out what all my actions are before I do anything and before I get a feel for the game. So always the first turns are just fucking amazingly hard. And I get one more Alp Arslan, no capabilities. He is just going to tax, because why not? I got nowhere else to be. Which puts me to there. That puts me to Chatorius. Don't know what to do with him. I think I'll just tax. I remember from prior games, taxing is generally a good idea. Get a lot of coin on people. That allows them to last longer. That allows them to do stuff. End of campaign. The game didn't end. I don't think it is spring. Let's take a look. What does this say? These are events that happened. Okay. So we've got to find, we have a rules link here. 4.7. 5.3, no rule for this. So 4.7 will probably tell me what I'm going to look for. End of campaign. At the start of each spring box, the Seljuk, or at the end, the Seljuk and the Roman must select and reduce the enemy's ravage to half their total number, rounded up. Okay. So there's one of these, 1.5. Half my total number rounded up will be 1. Kind of doesn't matter. I want to keep this one. Oh, that's a ruins. No, that doesn't count. Okay, so I lose one of these. Let's lose this one because we can do it again. And then the Romans get to keep theirs because they only have 1. Next thing in the list, repairs. Each locale with 3 or more siege markers, 3 or 4 siege markers, same thing, has to lose 1. That does not happen. Wastage. Seljuks and then Romans lose an asset or card from anybody with more than 1 thingy on this card. Now there was something that allowed me to fuck with that to some extent. What did I say? Romans then Seljuks? Seljuks then Romans. Okay. So we look at this guy. He has 3 things. Where the fuck is he? He's been doing nothing. I don't know. I mean, I have to lose either a card or a provender. One card is not enough to do anything with, but I also don't know that I necessarily want to do anything with him. I'll lose the card. His defensive location is fine there. Erasegi here has to lose something. Why is this here? That doesn't make sense. I think that's supposed to, I don't know what that's supposed to be. I'm just throwing it away. He can't have, like, I don't know where that came from. I think that was supposed to be a loot. I grabbed the wrong thing. Okay. Fair enough. I'll lose a provender because I want to keep my cart. And then over here, I have tons of all kinds of things. I'll lose a provender because I have too many anyway to be able to operate. I was just collecting them. Go over to the Romans, and he has nothing. That's not right. But he's fine. One of each. I got an extra cart here. What is wastage? Yeah, it's any kind of asset, includes coins. want to keep my cards, I'll throw the coin away. I hate losing coin, though. You know, I cannot muster shit because I'm in enemy territory. My cards aren't going to help me terribly much. Okay, I'll lose a card. All right. I'm laden anyway. I could lose a card. This card doesn't seem to be helping me because I can't remember it anyway, so fuck that. Okay. That was wastage. Reset. Roman commander may retain all FEMA service markers from a theme on his map by paying. Return each unpaid themata to its home. Then return the forces from the Lord map to the pool. Okay, this is where I'm weird. I thought these have to stay with the themata. I'm going to send this home because it's damaged. And it goes back to this location. Okay. That was my only themata. Romans then Seljuks, as desired, may discard any Arts of War cards. I don't want to discard these things. They're useful. Pressed levy, I can keep one. Yeah, that would have been... You know, I could have kept that extra strength point, but I don't really want to. Although I'm weakening my force, I don't want to risk my themata there. I think I'm okay with his. I should be doing this first. I don't want to discard any of these. Unstack lieutenants, advance the campaign, flip to levy, and discard all this campaign. So we're back over here. Put a couple of dice up there to remind me. And that was the exceedingly painful first turn. Again, you know, sometimes, most of the times when I play one of these, for the first time in a while, I've ended up playing a little bit to see how the game goes and then restarting. I decided to vid right away, which you can see the problem with that. I was fucking up left and right. But I wanted to show some of sort of the cost of trying to absorb this style of game. For some reason, it just always hits me, and it's always hard for me to operate reasonably. Did I make some mistakes that are uncorrected and whatnot? Certainly. I tried to reverse what I could, but I'm going to keep going because I don't feel like I fucked up to the extent that I've completely demolished the campaign. Had Alp Arslan died, or even maybe the Emperor died, I might have, I probably would have, if Alp Arslan died, I definitely would have restarted. Probably if the Emperor died too. But as it stands, I feel like I've got viable situations. I feel like the Seljuks got themselves in a bit of trouble by fighting too big a force. But it's not that much too big a force. We saw that, like, the Emperor was defeated. If it was this leader instead of Briennius. So, I mean, it's a close run. It was a close run differential. And then, of course, there's the luck of the die rolls and everything in it as well. But, yeah, I mean, we got to see the combat under two circumstances that were just slightly different. And on one side, the Seljuks won. On the other side, the Emperor won. Just a minor change in force and maybe a little bit of change in luck as well. Really having trouble keeping track of capabilities. That's going to be the case throughout the game. I'm always struggling with that. Lots of cards all over the place. It's difficult for me to cope with. It's that whole game state thing. All right, let me send this up, and then I guess I start reading a new book because I don't feel like reading rules again right away especially while I'm still struggling to internalize this system.